Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trill. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. Took a cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right, real all in my blessing. To get ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and everything looks and sounds good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me and things look and sound bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure that you guys follow those instructions right there. Shout out to my man Carlton Way. Shout out to my man Black Free Thinker, and shout out to everyone who is in the chat who has not made themselves known yet. Y'all are ghost watching. Don't make yourselves known and say the wrong thing, you know what I'm saying, or the chat will destroy you, all right? Shout out to you guys. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. I hope you're having just as good of a Saturday as your cryptocurrency portfolio is. Everybody look at their crypto portfolio and say, I did that. I did that. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get even better. All right. We're going to talk about a couple things. All right. One of the things that I just want to throw out there real quick is I think that is fascinating how a lot of these blockchains, a lot of these larger chains, they're missing out on opportunities that non-blockchain companies are taking advantage of, right? A lot of these non-blockchain companies are taking advantage of the cryptocurrency treasurization, the Bitcoin treasury, Solana treasury, XRP treasury, Ethereum treasuries, right? A lot of the blockchains, right? If Michael Saylor said that corporations will have to start Bitcoin treasuries in the future to remain relevant, which is a statement that I agree with, wouldn't it be parallel and obvious to say in order for a lot of the blockchains to remain relevant, they're going to have to start increasing their Bitcoin total value locked? So all blockchains at some point, in my opinion, it would be in their best interest to create some type of protocol or to create some type of wrapping where they can stake or store Bitcoin on their chain to increase their chain's value, to increase the market cap, to increase the per token market capitalization. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, then give me a thumbs down. We're going to talk about this makeover that Ethereum just went through, and we're going to talk about JP Morgan Chase, all right? Because JP Morgan Chase has decided to join the dark Bitcoinization wave. How many people heard about that? If you guys heard about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about that, give me a thumbs down, all right? But one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to pour out a little bit of liquor for another plantation that is taking people's ability to be a slave to it away. And we know how upset this makes people, right? But we're going to see more and more and more and more of it. Now, this is old, and I had planned on talking about this a long time ago, but I didn't get a chance to. But since we kind of have been along that theme, I figured, no time like the present to bring it up, right? So let's take a look at this. How many people heard about this? How many people heard about this? Major shipping company to cut 20,000 jobs. Now, we just talked about Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble is cutting 7,000 jobs. Major shipping company to cut 20,000 jobs. Will California facilities closed. The company operates over hundreds of stores in California. Let me ask you guys this question. What company is this? Shout out to Flack. What's good with it, Flack? What company is this? Somebody let me know. Let me know what company this is. Too late. United Parcel Service, UPS, plans to cut thousands of jobs and close dozens of facilities. You know what this means? Anytime we hear about thousands of people losing their jobs, you know what we got to do. Shout out to Carlton. What do we got to do? We got to buy up more Bitcoin so they can't get it. We got to kick them while they down. Right? We got to kick them up. We got to kick them while they down. As soon as we hear about people having unfortunate circumstances, we got to make sure we buy up more Bitcoin. Okay? As it scales back on the amount of Amazon shipments it handles, the company announced on Tuesday. Now, again, mind you, this is an old article, right? This is from April 29th. So keep that in mind when they say announcement on Tuesday. The shipping and receiving chain will slash about 20,000 jobs this year and close 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June. Uh-oh. Well, I guess it is kind of relevant. Right? I guess it is kind of relevant because what month is it? Dun, 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 is June. UPS said the company is still reviewing its network and may identify additional buildings to be shuttered. Now, mind you, they didn't say they're going to identify new locations to put up more facilities. They said they're going to cut more buildings if they can. It's the first major U.S. company to slash its workforce in response to the trade war. As a major part of the nation's supply chain, the cuts are being watched closely as a gauge of consumer and corporate sentiment. All right. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Currently, among the world that is awake, right? Among the world that is awake, what is consumer sentiment? How is consumer sentiment? What are these things looking like? The world hasn't been faced with such enormous potential impacts to trade in more than 100 years, which is interesting, right? Because these impacts, right, per annum, right, 100 years. Another anomaly happened that hasn't happened in 100 years. The United States debt rating was devalued, right? So a lot of things happening per annum. This month, President Donald Trump placed 145% tariffs on goods from China, a major source of goods for retail giant Amazon, UPS's largest customer, right? So do you guys see how these tariffs have affected things going up the value chain? You guys see how these things have affected things going up the value chain? The cost-cutting effort is linked to fewer deliveries from Amazon. China's not shipping to Amazon. Amazon don't have any distribution for UPS to do. UPS doesn't have any distribution. They got a bunch of trucks and facilities sitting idle. When these trucks and facilities sit idle, are they making or losing money? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said per annum is 1 year. Ha, you're right. You're right. In January, UPS announced that it had reached a deal with Amazon to lower its volume, not to increase it, to lower its volume by more than 50% by the second half of 2026. All right, so this is going into 2026. We've been partnered to Amazon for nearly 30 years, and we hold that company in high regard, Tom said in company's 2024 fourth quarter earnings call. Amazon is our largest customer, but it's not our most profitable customer. So now here's my question. Who is the most profitable customer of UPS? Yeah, shout out to Black Free Thinker. I agree. If you guys agree with Black Free Thinker, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. That means that they'll be losing money. Now, if they don't have any work, what's going to happen to the workers? That's a good question, right? If they don't have any work, what's going to happen to the workers? How are the workers going to work if they don't have any work? The workers will be reduced to a $0 income, a $0 income per annum. There we go. Right? UPS expects to save $3.5 billion in 2025 with the cuts. UPS has nearly 900 stores in California and a major air hub in Ontario in the Inland Empire. Nationwide, the company employs about 443,000 people and has cultivated a reputation for competitive pay and benefits packages, with the average driver earning $95,000 annually and up to $25,000 of tuition assistance for part-time employees, according to the company. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many employees do you guys think take advantage of this $25,000? And how many people knew that the drivers on average earned $95,000? That's a lot of money. Imagine when they're able to replace those drivers with artificial intelligence. They're going to save so much money. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said the workers will probably turn to crime in order to survive. Well, shout out to the workers, man. Because if they turn to crime to survive, maybe we can finally hurry up and get that Crimecast channel monetized. And since they're losing work will give us work. And then we could flip that work, right? And buy more Bitcoin as people get flushed out. Right? As a trusted leader in global logistics, we will leverage our integrated network and trade expertise to assist our customers as they adapt to a quote-unquote changing trade environment. Everybody sounds like BlackRock, or either everybody gets their financial advice from BlackRock. Right? What do you guys think? Everybody sounds like everybody kind of got the heads up from BlackRock, doesn't it? CEO Carol Tome said in a statement. Further, the actions we are taking to reconfigure our network and to reduce costs across our business could not be timelier. The macro environment may be uncertain, but with our actions, we will emerge even as a stronger, more nimble UPS. Isn't that what BlackRock and Fidelity said? The Atlanta-based company, which operates in more than 200 countries and territories, announced the cuts with its 2025 first quarter earnings report. That's not really what you want to hear on an earning report about how they need to cut costs, right? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said Rob got the PhD in Villanomics. Yeah, you know what we hey, it is what it is. This is what they want. You know what I'm saying? This is what they want. So we may as well be part of those people that they want to make rich. Give us your crime so we can make content off of it, and we can make money with the money that you guys are trying to get through crime, and we can buy Bitcoin that you won't be able to get with it. Do that for us, right? If you guys want people to do that for us, throw those money bags in the chat. Yeah, we want you to do that for us. The report showed revenue declined slightly to 21.5 billion. This is a different kind of 21 billion plan, isn't it? Not like Michael Saylor's. Down 0.7% from the first quarter of last year. The company's operating profit, however, increased to 1.7 billion, up 3.3% from the first quarter of 2024 and up 0.9% on an adjusted basis. All right. Well, we'll be reading more of these. Right? There will be more. Okay. Now let's talk about Ethereum, right? Let's take a wild guess. Is Ethereum at $10,000 today? Anybody check? If Ethereum is at $10,000, somebody let me know. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said they'll get paid in stable coins in the pen. Facts. They'll get paid in cigarette NFTs, right? They'll be getting paid in Lucky Stripes NFTs. Shout out to DJ Elmo. What's good with you, bro? Real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Spot Ethereum ETF's 15-day inflow streak accumulates $837.5 million in inflows. Pretty impressive. Guess what's not impressive? Ethereum's price, despite the fact that these ETFs are getting so many inflows. The current streak of 3 consecutive trading weeks of inflows has accounted for approximately 25% of the total net inflows since the spot Ethereum ETFs launched in July of 2024. Okay. US-based spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds have just recorded a 3rd consecutive trading week of inflows. If next week follows suit, the current inflow streak alone may pass $1 billion in total inflows. How is the price staying as low as it is? Somebody tell me how this Ethereum price is staying so low. How are Ethereum ETFs performing so well, but Ethereum itself is performing so poorly? How is this happening? Somebody let me know how this is happening. On June 6th, spot Ethereum ETFs posted $25.3 million in inflows for the trading day, extending the streak to 15 consecutive inflow days, according to Farside data. Ethereum ETF inflow streak brings in a significant amount of net total. The current inflow streak since May 16 has now brought in $837.5 million, roughly 25% of the total $3.32 billion in net inflows since spot Ethereum ETFs launched in July of 2024. All right. Now, there's a total of 3.32 billion in net inflows for the Ethereum spot ETFs. Again, I got to ask the question, why is the price of Ethereum not reflecting this? What's going on with the price? How do you get so much money pouring in and the price doesn't reflect? If the pattern continues into the coming weeks, an additional 162.5 million in inflows would push the streak's total to 1 billion. Okay. In contrast, spot Bitcoin ETFs saw its inflow streak break on May 29th with 346.8 million in outflows. Since then, flows have been volatile with a mix of inflows and outflows each day. Meanwhile, the spot price of Ethereum is up 31.23 over the past 30 days, trading at 2,490 at the time of this publication, according to CoinMarketCap data, because it slid back down. It was trading at around 2,700, but then the Ethereum bull got drunk and it slid back down. Shout out to Spencer Vaughn. Spencer Vaughn said there is 100 million Ethereum, right? I think that's the reason why it's so low. That could be a possibility, right? Mathematically, I wouldn't disagree with that. However, if you divide up evenly and spread all of this ETF inflow money that's coming in, right? Also take into account network activity and demand, you would think that the price would be higher, right? You know, the Ethereum is at an all-time low on the exchanges, right? Which is an indicator that there's a higher demand, not only a higher demand for Ethereum, but a higher demand to hold Ethereum, right? Because they're taking it off the exchanges, which means that it's not in the marketplace in preparation to sell. So you would think that that would increase demand side pressure, which would drive the price up. But for some reason, right? For some reason, it's still trading sideways. You know what I'm saying? Shout out I'm not mad at that. Shout out to Spencer Vaughn. Spencer Vaughn said, I'm gonna buy some more just in case. Yeah, me too. Facts. I ain't mad at that. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said that's a great question, and no one has been able to answer it. All of this inflow of the money and the price is not going up. Yeah, it's very weird and interesting. You know what I'm saying? Cointelegraph recently reported that a multi-year gold fractal is making a strong case for an Ethereum price rally towards $6,000 in the coming month. Okay, so if Spencer buys, some more Ethereum, right, and it goes up to $6,000 in the coming month, shout out to Spencer. Spencer did good. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you guys would agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Carlton said, we never had this issue until the big dogs showed up in crypto. And that's where you get dark Bitcoinization. You're gonna see all type of magic tricks happen. You know what I'm saying? Technical analyst Crypto Eagles said on June 3rd that Ethereum appears to be repeating the current 2024-2025 cycle, potentially setting the stage for a new all-time high. Okay. Ethereum's current all-time high of 4,878 was reached in November of 2021, according to CoinGecko data. Some industry commentators believe that adding staking to spot Ethereum ETFs is necessary for a stronger performance in the long run. On May 31st, Cointelegraph reported that the first Ethereum and Solana staking ETFs could debut in the United States within weeks, following a recent filing by ETF provider Rex Shares. ETF analyst James Seifert said that while the launch date is still unknown, the firm used quote-unquote regulatory workarounds to get these products to the market. All right. And again, there's clearly a demand for these products, right? Like the thing is that when it comes to Ethereum, right? When it comes to Ethereum, people are still buying, even though the price is trading sideways. When the prices go down, that's the time when smart investors buy, right? Now, shout out to you guys. You guys get to take a look inside my email. What do you think about that? That's what it looks like. Not very impressive, right? Ethereum goes DeFi punk. All right. And then, we talked about this the other day. Circle with their $1.1 billion IPO. Where can you buy Circle stock at? Where can you buy Circle stock at? Somebody let me know. All right. The Ethereum Foundation reveals its new treasury policy and finally embraces DeFi. Circle debuted on the NYSE, on the New York Stock Exchange. All right. DEX Pancake Swap sees record monthly volumes. How long have I been telling you guys about Pancake Swap? That token cake is available all over the place. You know what I'm saying? JP Morgan, we're going to talk about them later, plans to offer financing against crypto ETFs. They're also, if I'm not mistaken, they're also going to be selling Bitcoin, allegedly against their will. I don't know how somebody muscled. I do, right? Bitcoin muscled JP Morgan Chase into selling Bitcoin because Bitcoin is unavoidable. It's huge, right? Magic Eden commands 3.5% of Solana mindshare after Trump wallet news. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go further down. The Ethereum Foundation's DeFi punk push is a sign that the tide is turning. While the Ethereum blockchain is open and transparent, the Ethereum Foundation has been pretty opaque, but is taking some steps to change that. The latest one being its freshly published treasury policy. All right. How many people have heard about Ethereum's treasury policy? Anybody heard about Ethereum's treasury policy? If you haven't heard about Ethereum's treasury policy, we'll take a brief look at it. Okay. The new framework replaces what seemed like opportunistic Ethereum sales to cover operations with strict guardrails. Under a two-variable formula, annual operating expenses are capped at a target of 15% of the total treasury, and the foundation must always hold a 2.5-year runway in reserve. In practice, what that means is that A equals 15% of the treasury goes to cover yearly budgets, salaries, grants, research, and B, 2.5 years of operating expenses must be in the bank before any Ethereum is sold. Okay. Multiply A times B and you get your fiat denominated cushion. Whatever's left can stay in ETF or ETH, be staked or deployed into carefully vetted DeFi protocols. There's no more sell near Ethereum market tops. Instead, the plan is to implement counter-cyclical sales if fiat reserves dip beneath that A times B threshold. This all seems reasonable, but the real head turner here is how much ink this policy devotes to supporting DeFi, all right? Which is interesting because here's my question. What did they say about DeFi later on in the year? What did they say was going to happen with DeFi later on in the year? Somebody let me know. What did they say about DeFi? They said that DeFi was going to be one of the sectors of crypto that exploded, that made a lot of people a lot of money, right? Here is my question for you. When it comes to DeFi tokens to watch, DeFi protocols to watch, What are the DeFi protocols that people should be paying attention to? Somebody let me know in the chat. What are the DeFi protocols people should be paying attention to? Okay. For too long, Ethereum Foundation leadership shied away from openly championing decentralized finance. For most Ethereum conferences and summits, you would struggle to find DeFi in the agenda. It was at most relegated to some side stage or track. Vitalik famously referred to DeFi as an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail, as in protocols were generally yield in an unsustainable way. Ethereum Foundation communications rarely highlighted Uniswap, Aave, or Maker as pillars of the ecosystem, and so on. The examples are many. Now, Uniswap and Aave, those tokens are doing very well. I'm not familiar with Maker. Is anybody familiar with the token Maker? Aave and Uniswap, though, they do really well. Those are ERC20 tokens, DeFi protocols. You know what I'm saying? The resistance always felt odd because DeFi is the single biggest value driver on Ethereum. By April of 2025, Ethereum had over 156 billion in total value locked. So again, right? Ethereum had over $156 billion in total value locked. How is the price so low? So you have, right? You have the ETF inflows. In addition to the ETF inflows, you have this number of total value locked, right? How is Ethereum's price so low with this total value locked, 156 billion? More than 60% of total value across all chains. After Circle and Tether, centralized stablecoin issuers, which you could argue are still part of the DeFi ecosystem, it's DeFi protocols, Sky, Aave, Uniswap, and Lido that are generating the most revenue on Ethereum, according to DeFi Llama. All right. And again, I've told you guys about Lido DAO too. That token is done real well. It's undeniable that DeFi is Ethereum's most successful use case and the heart of not just Ethereum's economy, but the entire blockchain ecosystem. Ignoring that is like ignoring Messi, like the Lavori hiding Mona Lisa. Makes no sense. This is why it's so significant that the Ethereum Foundation's new treasury policy doesn't just mention DeFi in passing. It codifies a new term, DeFi Punk, to describe projects and users that embody DeFi's original ethos, permissionless, trustless, non-custodial, and now with a renewed emphasis on privacy. The Ethereum Foundation is seeking to ensure that protocols aren't just decentralized in name, but in practice. No more quote-unquote decentralization theater. The focus is back to trustless smart contracts, self-custody as a baseline, and on-chain privacy. Sure, locking more ETH into staking in DeFi means fewer dumps, always bullish. But the bigger win is the Foundation's role shift. It is no longer a passive grant maker that quietly funds academic research. It's now a proactive ecosystem steward, pledging cold hard cash to Ethereum DeFi projects that meet DeFi Punk criteria. All right. Grants, research support, and maybe even on-chain collateral allocations. That means the next generation AMMs, censorship-resistant lending protocols, and privacy layers could get meaningful support from one of the blockchain's most powerful entities. In short, the tide is turning. Ethereum's governance body is finally admitting that DeFi isn't a risky sideshow. It's the platform's beating heart. And if this treasury policy is anything to go by, the Ethereum Foundation isn't just talking, it's ready to put its Ethereum where its mouth is. All right. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? We're going to take a look at some of these bullet points right here. All right. BNB, Binance Chain's Pancake Swap, had a record-breaking May in terms of monthly trading volumes. The decentralized exchange also recently revealed a partnership with the Trump family's crypto project, World Liberty Financial. How many people were aware of that? If you guys were aware that PancakeSwap just scored a partnership with World Liberty Financial, give me a thumbs up. If you were not aware of that, then give me a thumbs down. Banking giant JP Morgan plans to let clients use crypto ETFs as collateral for loans, starting with BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Sources told Bloomberg. The move would be a significant step in TradFi adoption of crypto. You will now be able to use Bitcoin as collateral for loan through traditional banks. How do you feel about that? Yeah, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Uniswap, Aave, right? Radium, right? That's Solana. Jupiter, that's Solana, right? Jito, Maker, Injective. Yeah. What's another one? Osmosis, right? PancakeSwap, Orca, right? Orca is one, right? So, yeah, this is all very interesting. All right, this is all very interesting. Okay. So, I don't think we need to look at this Ethereum Foundation treasury policy. They did a good job outlining it in that article there, or in that email there. So I'm not going to look at that. We're going to take a look at some more bullet points though. All right, real quick, shout out to everybody watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. All right, we got this from Bitcoin Zella. All right, Bitcoin teeters, Musk stirs, Sailor brags. Welcome to June volatility. I don't know about the volatility. Bitcoin rebounds to $105,000 amid mixed signals. Elon Musk may be gearing up for a historic Bitcoin buy, and Michael Saylor fires off a victory lap. Meanwhile, AI predicts Bitcoin's month-end target. All right, let me ask you guys this question. What target do you think that AI predicted for Bitcoin for the end of the month? Throw me some estimates in the chat, okay? Bitcoin rebounds to 105,000. Is this just a bull trap? Bitcoin recovered to 105,607 after plunging below 101,000, but concerns over leverage and transparency raise fears of a bull trap scenario. Okay, what is a bull trap? Trump Z tariff talks and hyper leveraged longs sparked the June 5th drop to $100,430. Trader James Wynn reportedly lost $100 million during the liquidation cascade. Oh, he got liquidated. He leaking all over the place. He leaking all over the place. Recession fears and custody doubts shake confidence. All right. Degens went long. Whales went hunting. Classic trap setup. Custody speculation flares as strategy refuses to reveal Bitcoin on-chain addresses, stoking unease among institutional investors. Now, what do you guys think about that? We've talked about this before, how MicroStrategy doesn't feel that they need to participate in proof of custody as far as their Bitcoin holdings and their financials. I'm kind of curious about that. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. We got 125,000. Shout out to Carlton Way. We got 160,000. Shout out to Spencer. We got 110,000. I think all of those are reasonable predictions. I'm going to go low. I'm going to say 95. I'm going to say 95, right? I'm going to say 95. Elon Musk versus Trump and the $100 billion Bitcoin speculation. All right. Elon Musk's public feud with President Trump has taken a turn, now intersecting with massive Bitcoin rumors. Now, how did Bitcoin get drawn into the Elon Musk and Trump messiness? Shout out to Carlton Way. All right. Carlton Way. Carlton Way posted evidence that apparently Trump told Elon Musk to go back to Africa. Is this true? If anybody knows if this is true or not, you know what I'm saying? Somebody let us know. Did Donald Trump tell Elon Musk to go back to Africa? Oh man, that's wild, man. That's wild. What Trump should realize, if that post is true, right? If Trump actually told Elon Musk to go back to Africa, what Trump must realize is that he just opened the door in the United States for millions of quote unquote Africans like Elon Musk to come to the United States. He might just be doing that to increase the demand for ICE agents. What you guys think? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. All right. Robert Leshner suggests that Musk could be 2 weeks from buying $100 billion in Bitcoin. Where's the evidence for this coming from? Musk blasted Trump's tax bill, citing risks to U.S. solvency. Adam Back says Musk is buying 1 million Bitcoin, and it would be the smartest move. Okay. Bitcoin swung from $105,888 to $100,783 during the drama, reflecting real market impact from political theatrics. Okay. And again, these people are creating these political theatrics. I don't even think Trump and Elon Musk are actually fighting. I think that they're just, just public theater to fuel market manipulation, if you ask me. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs up. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Could be wrong. Trump demands Fed rate cuts. Bitcoin climbs on liquidity shift. Despite strong jobs data, where's the jobs data at and how is it strong? We've seen jobs data. Let me ask you guys this question. Has the jobs data that we've looked at looked strong to you in any way, shape, or form? Has any of that data looked strong? I don't think that jobs data that we saw looked strong. Trump doubled down on urging a full point Fed rate cut, calling Powell too late. Bitcoin rose 2.5% to $105,584, shaking off employment data that should have cooled rallies. Right? Employment data that should have cooled rallies. One paragraph up, strong jobs data. Somebody make it make sense. Okay. CME Fed Watch, September still the earliest likely cut. Okay. Michael Saylor flexes. He's doing some strange flexing, Carlton. Michael Saylor decides to start strange flexing. We might have to look at the origins of where the strange flexes came from. Let me ask you guys this question. If you come from a culture that is known for making naked sculptures of males with quote unquote less than impressive anatomy all over the place, would that be considered a ancient strange flex? We got to find the origins of where these quote unquote strange flexes come from. Is that a strange flex? I don't know what kind of flex that is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious. I got this feeling that strange flexes came from somewhere and they quote unquote got appropriated, but I think that there's origins of like strange flexes. Where did the strange flexes come from? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said historically correct to me. Yeah, you put up all these statues of these places that you go to that you're not supposed to be at, and there's all these naked people, and somehow they magically have 3 thumbs, right? 2 of them are on their hands. I don't know what kind of flex that is. So I think that these strange flexes came from somewhere, and they've been adopted by people who have been in contact with these people. Okay. So I just, I think that that's something that I think that that's interesting for research. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, you know what I'm saying? They went to all these different countries, you know what I'm saying? Like in the 15th, 16th, and 17th century, and they saw these statues, right? And I heard that there was some envy going on. And as a result of this envy going on, noses got shot off of or taken off of statues. because I guess like the nose had an offensive amount of hang time compared to statues from the north. You know what I'm saying? So, I think again, we gotta figure out where these strange flexes came from. I don't think that the strange flexes, quote unquote, originated, quote unquote. I don't think that the strange flexes, quote unquote, originated from mud huts, right? Because I don't think that anybody went around the world and put up a bunch of mud huts and said that these mud huts are better than castles, right? But people were putting up statues of not so impressive physiology all over the place. So I think that that's where the origins of the strange flex come from. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a viable, theory, right? The truth is like bullets, right? They ain't got no name on them. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about finance, right? So it's appropriate to talk about quote unquote exposure. I think that's a very interesting exposure, right? But nonetheless, right? Maybe I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe I'm thinking too loud. They say we loud. You know what I'm saying? Michael Saylor is back, this time posting a chart that shows strategy outpacing Tesla, Meta, and even Bitcoin itself. Okay? Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, posted 126% year-over-year returns. Bitcoin came in at 48%, with gold at 39%. Strategy is fully torqued Bitcoin, Saylor wrote in his now viral tweet. And the tweet is viral because his people made him great. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Yeah, extra. Yeah. I don't know what kind of flex 2 belly buttons is. I don't know why you would want your entire nation and people associated with that. Some people might look at that and say, that's what you produce, huh? Okay. I'll shop elsewhere. Right? I'll shop elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Google Gemini predicted a $103,000 Bitcoin by June 30th. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It might not be the prediction that we want, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that prediction. What do you guys think? I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. AI joins the forecast game. Google's Gemini AI predicts Bitcoin will reach $103,000 by the end of June. Now, we know that would actually be going down, right? Which is interesting, right? Because I said 95,000. I was the only one that went down. Based on macroeconomic factors, ETF flows, and supply constraints, Bitcoin currently sits at $101,469, down 3.17% on the day. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF now exceeds $70 billion, supporting institutional accumulation thesis. Let me ask you guys this question. What should we be doing? Somebody, I know Carlton got the answer. I know Brooklyn Queen got the answer. I know Black Free Thinkers got the answer. What should we be doing? I know Spencer's got the answer. What should we be doing? When it comes to assets, when it comes to cryptocurrency, who would agree? You should always do what BlackRock is doing. If you guys would agree, you should always do what BlackRock is doing. Give me a thumbs up. If you disagree and you don't think that you should do what BlackRock is doing, then give me a thumbs down and let me know why not. Okay. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. All right. Market outlook stormy but strong. Bitcoin key levels: resistance $109,300, support 100,750, and 98. 98. That's what we want right there. All right. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And again, you know, when it comes to this stuff, it tends to be you start doing the same stream all the time, right? We're going to look at some news that they had on CoinMarketCap. All right. We're going to look at some news that they had on CoinMarketCap. Old school. CoinMarketCap been around for a long time. JP Morgan expands crypto services with ETF financing and collateral options. How do you guys feel about that? Thought JP Morgan said, you know, we don't like crypto. JP Morgan is big enough to take a gamble and say, we don't like crypto. We believe that crypto is garbage. The same way that Michael Saylor believes that Bitcoin is God, we believe that crypto is poison. And we are so big, we are going to end this cryptocurrency movement by not engaging in Bitcoin at all. Chase is big enough to do that. So they can sit there and double talk as much as they want to and say that they don't believe in Bitcoin. If they didn't believe in Bitcoin, they wouldn't be engaging with Bitcoin at all. I want you guys to pay. Do you guys see how JP Morgan Chase is engaging with Bitcoin? JP Morgan Chase is engaging with Bitcoin at a higher engagement rate than the wider world engages with my YouTube channel. When someone says, I don't mess with Bitcoin, it would look like how my YouTube channel looks. My YouTube channel at one point was about improving people's wealth and improving people's mind state. It is no longer about that. Right? It is no longer about that. I no longer care about people's wealth. I no longer care about people's mind state. And the reason I no longer care is because people showed me with their actions they don't care about themselves. And it's a waste of time and energy to care more about other people and their improvements and success than you care about yourself and your inner circle. So we did a corporate reorganization as a result of adapting to our environment, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So that's what it looks like, right? When somebody doesn't mess with you. Chase would treat Bitcoin the way the wider community treats my YouTube channel. That's not what we see. Chase is integrating and embracing with Bitcoin. Step one, through the ETF. Okay? Step one, through the ETF. JP Morgan Chase expands crypto services with ETF financing and collateral options. JP Morgan Chase is broadening its cryptocurrency offering for trading and wealth management clients. Let me ask you guys this question. Who are the wealth management clients? Not the people that don't watch the channel, right? Not the Diddy trial crowd. Those ain't the wealth management people, right? The bank will now allow clients to use crypto assets as collateral for certain ETF loans, including BlackRock's IBIT. BlackRock's IBIT is becoming not only hyper liquid, right? But it's becoming something that's generally accepted. Okay. Previously, such arrangements were only available on a case-by-case basis for quote-unquote select customers. The bank will also factor in clients' crypto holdings when calculating total net worth and liquid assets for borrowing assessments. Okay. I thought they didn't believe in crypto. How can a bank say that they don't believe in crypto, but they'll take crypto as collateral? Let me ask you this question. Don't you have to believe that collateral has value? Don't you have to believe that collateral has value? So how can you say that you don't believe in cryptocurrency, but then say, well, we'll take your cryptocurrency and consider it as collateral when calculating your loan eligibility? How does that work? Exactly. This expansion comes as the U.S. regulatory environment becomes more favorable towards digital assets under the current administration. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon recently announced plans to let customers buy Bitcoin through the bank, though the bank won't custody the assets directly. Now, the bank won't custody the assets directly because they're creating a value chain with BlackRock, and BlackRock is custodying the Bitcoin, and Chase is saying, well, we'll take your Bitcoin ETF shares. Let me ask you guys this question. As you pay attention to the inner workings of affluency, right? As you pay attention to the inner workings of how capital and liquidity flow, is it now blatantly obvious why poor people are poor? This kind of stuff happens on a daily basis, and this is common sense to people that pass this type of money around. You know what I'm saying? This is a multi-custody arrangement, okay? The firm is also assisting Circle, right? I didn't know that. JP Morgan Chase is also assisting Circle with the IPO, marking deeper institutional involvement in the crypto sector. And remember, Chase isn't with crypto. They don't like crypto. BlackRock's IBIT currently dominates the spot Bitcoin ETF market, right? Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many 401ks have an option to invest in BlackRock's IBIT or to invest in any BlackRock cryptocurrency ETF? Any 401ks that are available at your job? Where let me know. Okay. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. These moves signal traditional banking's growing acceptance of digital assets as legitimate financial instruments. Now, again, there's only banks are starting to evolve. They see value in cryptocurrency. There's still some people that just don't get it. Still, some people just don't get it, and they never will. They never will. And that's cool because the people that don't get it provide a massive amount of liquidity for us to be able to pick up tokens that are meant for them. So that's what we'll do. We should tell them people thank you in advance. What do you think? Thank you. JP Morgan to accept crypto ETFs as collateral for loans. This is big. This is something that JP Morgan is doing a Trump flip-flop in regards to cryptocurrency. Trump flip-flopped on cryptocurrency. He was one of the Bitcoin as a scam people. You guys, if you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not remember that, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, Trump was one of the crypto as a scam people. Okay. Now he's fully embracing Bitcoin, fully embracing cryptocurrency. JP Morgan is acting like they're not embracing cryptocurrency while saying we'll make revenue off of cryptocurrency. In some cases, the bank will look at crypto holdings when determining net worth, which may affect how much can be borrowed. If the bank can lend more money, they'll be able to generate more income based on interest charged on that money. So they're not doing anybody a favor. They're doing themselves a favor by looking for revenue generation opportunities while using their revenue generation opportunities to tell you, look what we're doing for you. We're so great. Look what we're doing for you. They're not doing anything for you. And again, this is what's so dangerous about people who adopt the mind state that things, quote unquote, must be done for them. Because if somebody says, yeah, I'll do this for you, and it's something bad for you, and people simply get off on, look what this person did for me, you'll accept anything. You'll accept anything, as we see. We see people accepting anything, and let's not make any mistake. It's a pretty pathetic sight. It's a pretty pathetic sight. How many people would agree? It's a pretty pathetic sight. What can you do for me? Well, I can take full advantage of you. Okay, go right ahead. Then years later, they had took advantage of me. Well, you invited them to it, right? JP Morgan, the largest bank in the United States by assets, plans to offer trading and wealth management clients the option of using crypto-linked assets for collateral loans, according to a June 4th report from Bloomberg. The bank is set to allow financing against crypto exchange-traded funds in just some weeks. Now, again, they set it up like this so that they can get the money and BlackRock gets the money. Notice how they don't engage with the crypto asset directly. I want to ask you guys this. Why are they not engaging with the crypto asset directly? Why are they not engaging with the crypto asset directly? JP Morgan will begin with BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, which according to SoSoValue.com is the largest U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF with $70.1 billion in net assets. And again, anytime we hear the value of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, we have to reiterate it. People who are not financial advisors have instructed people to not engage with cryptocurrency. These people in the future will not be allowed to discuss any kind of unfair wealth distribution because they contributed to it. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Banks will also consider clients' crypto holdings when assessing net worth. All right. And this is coinciding with, the accounting ASBAB, right? Allowing Bitcoin to be added to a balance sheet as an asset. Okay. Treating digital assets similarly to traditional ones when determining how much a client can borrow against assets. JP Morgan is among U.S. banks betting on crypto initiatives for some of its clients. In 2020, it launched JP Morgan Coin. You guys remember that? A dollar peg stable coin. And in 2024, the bank reported holding shares of different spot Bitcoin ETFs, all while saying they don't support Bitcoin. All while saying they don't support Bitcoin. Okay? JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon in May said that the bank would soon allow clients to purchase Bitcoin. Dimon also reiterated his skepticism about the asset class, stating comparing Bitcoin and investing to smoking. So he's doing the crack. We've talked about this. He's doing the crack analogy. Hey, I think that smoking crack is bad, but somebody got to sell it to you, right? I don't think that you should smoke, but I defend your right to smoke. I defend your right to buy Bitcoin. Defending your right, defending a right to buy Bitcoin and actually selling Bitcoin is two different things. Supporting decriminalization of drugs and being a drug dealer are two different things. You don't have to deal Bitcoin if you support free market. Just say, I support the free market. I want you guys to understand. This is how stupid the greater public is. This is why they deserve to be poor. Somebody can come out here and say this, and they'll say this guy, he's so great. He's so honest. He's so ethical. Shout out to my man John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, really? Wait until JP Morgan see my crow with knife wallet. Yeah. Yeah, they'll let you get a loan so you can go buy some bubble yum. Oh man, we just need that. We just need that one good day so we can get rid of crow at knife. You know what I'm saying? We just need that. We just need that one. We just need that one good day, like that one day when Bitcoin goes up to $500,000 and like the entire market pumps like 500%, so we could dump all of that crow at knife. You know what I'm saying? That's that's what we need. You know what I'm saying? We just need those 3 days of $3 million volume so we can get that out of there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so Jamie Dimon uses the crack analogy. I don't think you should smoke, but I defend your right to smoke. Now, he didn't say, I don't think that you should smoke, but I'll be the first one to sell you some cigarettes. This is not an equivalent statement to his action. But he is a wealthy, rich elite, and he knows that in most cases, wealthy, rich elites are far more intelligent than feeble-minded, ethically tricked civilians. These fools that have a sense of selflessness and sit around and wonder why they're broke. Hey, you got to smoke cigarettes. You got a right to smoke cigarettes. I'll sell them to you. He cares about us. He cares about his wallet. We care about our wallets. You know what I'm saying? Trump administration eases regulations on banks in crypto. U.S. President Donald Trump has been loosening restrictions on banks and digital asset businesses. Of course he is. Why? Because he's in the digital asset business. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Right? Yeah. In April of 2025, the Federal Reserve withdrew guidance that discouraged banks from engaging in crypto and stablecoin activities. In May, the U.S. Office of the Comptroller confirmed that banks can now handle the crypto assets of customers held in custody. That same month, the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. banks were holding early talks to launch a crypto stablecoin. Okay? Now, I want you to understand, these elites, this is surface level noise. Understand that this is surface level noise. These elites truly believe in cryptocurrency. If they didn't believe in cryptocurrency, they would ignore it completely. They would ignore it completely. What they're doing is they're suspending crypto action until they're able to maximize and fully capitalize on it. And then once they've discovered their highest potential to generate revenues, then they will roll out the laws to be able to allow themselves to generate as much revenue as possible, leverage that revenue against individual crypto holders, and block other entrants into this industry. So that's what the law game is. That's what law is. Laws are drawing a line and drawing boundaries on who has power and ability and who follows rules like a punk. Laws are geopolitical punking of people who don't have assets. That's what laws are. Because laws melt away when money and assets are involved. They melt. They mean less. It's just like distance, right? In outer space. Well, distance means something, right? Only if you're not traveling at light or quantum speed. If you're traveling at light or quantum speed, and distance doesn't mean anything because you can get somewhere almost instantaneously. So effectively, the idea of distance doesn't really matter because you can just instantaneously get somewhere, right? Well, in the financial universe, the more money and assets you have, the more quote-unquote neo-like you can move within a legal matricy or legal framework. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. The Trump administration has also announced the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile and is encouraging the passing of stablecoin legislation in the Senate. The United States is at some point going to start confiscating people's Bitcoin. They're going to take it off of exchanges, go collect people's wallets and everything, the same way they did with the gold. What was that, 1933? They're going to have the Bitcoin Reconciliation Act, because that's what they do. People want to not believe history of America. There was never any gold seizure. There was never any slavery. God is not going to bless America. You know what I'm saying? God is not going to bless America because its population are liars and idiots. Gaslighters. How can a country that stole your gold be great? We won't talk about that. You know, when it comes to the gold seizures, people still talk about that. Well, here's my question. How'd that affect anybody that's alive today? Huh? How'd it affect anybody that's alive today? Move past it. Bitcoin is available. Move past it. Can't we all just move past it? Why do we have to make everything about money? Huh? Why do we got to make everything about money? XRP Strategic Reserve. We got another one. Webis International files for a $300 million XRP treasury. And XRP's price is still at a box of filter tip black and mild prices. We just got announcements of a $300 million XRP focused corporate treasury, and one XRP still costs the same as a box of filter tip black and milds. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Right? China-based Webis International has submitted SEC documentation outlining plans for a $300 million XRP-focused corporate treasury. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people about to scoop up some XRP? Wouldn't be a bad idea to just have 1,000 XRP. Right? Shout out to William. What's good with it, bro? Wouldn't be bad to have 1,000 XRP. Right? The firm will fund the initiative through loans and credit facilities rather than issuing new shares. Webis aims to integrate Ripple's payment network for streamlined cross-border payments across global chauffeur services. Now, chauffeur services, we talked about this, right? The move follows Vivo Power's International, right? And we talked about Vivo Power, similar $121 million XRP treasury announcement, signaling growing corporate adoption. Growing corporate adoption. All right. Now, shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory says, if that's not market manipulation, I don't know what is. Right. Well, I'll tell you, here goes one Ethereum. Right. Shout out to William. William said it's called wealth creation. If we had it earlier, it would be easier to acquire what we need today. Here's in an alternate universe, right? If people had listened to Da Vinci Jeremy when he said just buy $1 friggin' dollar, instead of listening to people that, you know, at the time probably had like, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people in their live stream chat screaming that cryptocurrency is a scam, that would have helped things along the way be easier too, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to William. William said we would also have advanced our group understanding. In my opinion, right, I don't think that quote unquote group understanding is necessary. This right here is group. This right here, our little group. You see what we got? We got 12 people watching. Those 12 people are supposed to be rich and affluent. That is the group. That is the group. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. This 12 to 15 people that we have here, this is a purified group. This is a purified group of crypto Puritans. High quality crypto investors. We don't need large numbers polluting the gene pool. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. The more we buy Bitcoin and lock and block other people out so that they're not able to buy any, and so that they remain where they are, that pushes up our affluency. And the thing is that we have to give these people what they want. We have to give these people what they want. These people don't want wealth. They don't want any Bitcoin. They've already said it. They've aligned themselves with people that do not appreciate or do not believe in Bitcoin. So that would be so selfish of us, right? If you ask me, we are of the highest order. We are of the highest order by granting peasants the ability to remain peasants. They don't need to feel the stress and strain of accumulating 0.1 Bitcoin and 1,000 XRP and 20 Ethereum, and they don't need to be stressed out with that. They make their choice to not be stressed out with that. They deserve the autonomy of oblivion, right? Because everybody should be allowed their autonomy, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Me personally, right? I've been talking about and advocating for cryptocurrency at least since 2017. It is highly offensive, right? Highly offensive. Almost like somebody spit in my face, right? When people say, quote unquote, they don't know about it. They haven't heard about it. Nobody talked to them about it, right? The information is out there. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, brother, where are you from? You talking really suspect now. The crypto Illuminati. The crypto Illuminati. The crypto elites. The crypto elites. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, we were never told. We want to make it where 4 generations down, our nepotism children that we have were never told what it's like to break a sweat making somebody else rich. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, hairline check, fool. Yeah, I got a ledger line. You know what I'm saying? I got a ledger line. You know what I mean? Seriously. Seriously, right? Would you guys agree? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, I want to do a wallet check. Right? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said Robb's tethered to BTC. Absolutely, except for I don't use I've never used US dollar tether. I'm not a big fan. I appreciate what they're doing and the stablecoin innovations, but I've never really been a stablecoin supporter, and I don't mess with Tether all like that. And one of the reasons I don't mess with Tether all like that is it's always more expensive than US dollar coin. Like it's like a penny more expensive than US dollar coin. Like they making money off of that fractional penny that they be charging. You know what I'm saying? Right? Now, yeah. Shout out to me, right? I'm fully committed. I'm fully committed to villainy. I'm fully committed to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? I'm fully committed. And this is what people got to understand. This is what people get. You don't spit in somebody's face repeatedly and then they embrace you, or they give you an easy time, or they help you from not falling off a cliff. That's not how that works. It's not how that works. It's not how that works. The wider behavior of the world has shown me that despite all of the complaints that people have, consequences have not been fatal, terminal, and painful enough. So those that evolve deserve to relish in the rewards of evolution, and those who remain the same or de-evolve deserve all of the perks and benefits of purgatory. All of the perks of purgatory. And we have to see to that. We have to see to that. Everyone only wants to be a part of your mission, right? They only want to be a part of your mission after they see you succeed. They don't want to take the risk. Well, don't forget, not being a part of the mission is a risk too. And we're gonna cash in on our risk, and you're gonna cash in on your risk, but you cashing in on your risk is gonna look different. Shout out to Jay Guapo, right? It's gonna show different. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton Wade said Robb refuses to be next to the T-Rex at the National Science History Museum. Facts. Facts. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says stupidity will purge itself via consequences. Facts. 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 This is the reality. This is the level of accountability that people need to be charged with, if you ask me. We don't do this for our health. You know what I'm saying? We don't do this for our health. People think it's a joke. They can laugh with us. You know what I'm saying? But they got to stop at the door when we're laughing all the way to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you guys this question. How long ago did Da Vinci say $1 freaking dollar? Let me ask you this. On the day that Da Vinci video came out, when he said $1 freaking dollar, what was the Bitcoin price? And what did you spend your dollars on that day? And how much would that dollar have made you today? I think back in those days, $1 might have actually bought you a tenth of a Bitcoin. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said at least 10 years ago. Well. Too bad. 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 Because what you could have bought for $1 back then, you paying $10,000 for it now. You paying brick of cocaine prices for it now. Well. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. I want to know why did people ignore the Da Vinci video? The Da Vinci video fits all the criteria of something that people should have watched. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. He said it May 9th of 2013. What was the Bitcoin price of May 9th, 2013? Bitcoin price. What was the Bitcoin price that day? Yeah. On May 9th of 2013, Bitcoin Bitcoin was $112.69. So $1 would have bought you 100th of a Bitcoin. That would be $1,000 today. Now again, Da Vinci's video fit all the criteria of what people claim they want to see. Why didn't anybody watch that video? The Great Da Vinci Mystery. Was it because of Da Vinci's hairline? In his defense, I think he shaves his head bald. Bitcoin price May 9th of 2013. Closing price for Bitcoin on May 9th of 2013 was $112.67. What did you spend $1 on? And whatever you spent $1 on, did it bring you back $1,000 in 2025? No. No. On May 9th of 2013, the closing price for Bitcoin was $112.67. Now, MicroStrategies. Now, see, people say that it's not fair that MicroStrategies is buying up all the Bitcoin. It is fair. It's absolutely fair. It's fair. And the reason why it's fair is because they are buying it at a price that they can afford. It's now in hundreds of thousands of dollars. They got billions of dollars. They can afford that. Why didn't you buy it when you could afford it? It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for AB for funding the organization. I'm about to buy some more Bitcoin.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
So I want to ask you guys this question. All of these, now, none of these, look, I want you guys to understand how fair this is, right? Will MicroStrategies ever be able to buy a $100,000 Bitcoin or a $100 Bitcoin? MicroStrategies will never be able to buy a $100 Bitcoin, but MicroStrategies is able to buy a $100,000 Bitcoin. It's fair. It's fair. Now, guess what? You can't buy a $100,000 Bitcoin, but you could have bought a $100 one. So when you could have bought, you didn't. Now that MicroStrategies can buy, they are buying. Fair market value. Yeah. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, bro, in 5 years, that same dollar will be about 21,000 if Cathie Woods is correct with her $2.4 million prediction. Yeah. And then there'll be videos about how greedy people are for buying up all the Bitcoin. They're greedy. But what about how negligent people were for not buying any Bitcoin? What about the videos of that? Don't worry, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. We'll make those videos. We'll make those videos. Company shares jumped 9% in early trading following the SEC filing disclosure. The company intends to use the XRP ledger to settle cross-border rides and driver payouts efficiently. Okay. So, yeah, we talked about that. XRP Treasury. Okay. Now, I don't know if anybody is aware, right? But we're going to run through this real quick. Okay. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, Rob saying fair is like Tales from the Crypt. Thanks for the ride, lady. Right. Yeah. Fair. It's fair. It's fair. It is fair. It's absolutely fair. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that didn't buy Bitcoin when Da Vinci said to buy it at, spend $1 friggin' dollar. You gave all your Bitcoin to BlackRock. You gave it all to MicroStrategies. That's what you did. Now wallow in it. And we'll point and laugh at you and make fun of you while you wallow in it, right? Bitcoin derivatives Moscow exchanges launches BlackRock IBIT future. Russia's Moscow exchange has introduced cash-settled Bitcoin futures contract benchmarked to BlackRock's IBIT exchange-traded fund. So Russia, again, everybody is IBITizing, right? Russia's doing the same thing for the most part that Chase Bank is doing. I'm sure we'll hear more about that. Right? Here's another Bitcoin treasury. Right? Bitcoin treasury Kate Wave Media secures $500 million for Korean Bitcoin strategy. The firm aims to become the meta planet of Korea. Shout out to Carlton Way. Carlton Way said, if Bitcoin had swag, we would have bought in 2013. Blame the rappers. Let's blame the hip-hop community. Let's ask the question, why didn't the hip-hop community discuss Bitcoin? You think it was because the people that owned the companies told them not to? No. I don't think so. But why not bring that up? Why not make that a thing? Right? Why not make that a thing? Everybody makes everything else a thing. Right? Let's make that a thing. Why didn't Diddy tell us about Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't Diddy tell us about Bitcoin? Well, Diddy didn't tell you about what he was doing at the parties either. You know what I'm saying? Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, outlines pathway to expand U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. They're going to steal our Bitcoin. Bitcoin Seizure Act coming soon. Get your stuff off the exchanges, especially get it off of Coinbase. Any exchange that's associated with the United States government, get your crypto off of there. They're going to start dipping in there. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this Bitcoin scarcity situation. Let's talk about this Bitcoin scarcity situation to the 10 people in the chat, so that in 20 years they can say, well, we don't understand. Well, it's too late. None of these people that are buying Bitcoin, they're not going to sell it at all. So it doesn't matter if you know about it or not now. You know what I'm saying? You have been sentenced to Satoshis. Listen, there's entire groups of people that in the future they will be sentenced to Satoshis. That's a horrible sentence. You'd be sentenced to Satoshis. Oh man, you'll be sentenced to Satoshis. You know what I'm saying? We'll be the new Bitcoin boule, except for we won't be doing what the boule does. We'll be causing problems out here. For everybody. All lives matter than problems. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be the worst of both worlds, right? Why not? So that's what people want. That's what people want. How many people would agree? That's what people want. That's what people want. People want something to complain about. We will give people a lot of stuff to complain about. Man, there's gonna be so many gifts under the Christmas tree. You ain't gonna know what to do with them. You ain't gonna know which one to unwrap first. You ain't gonna know which one to unwrap first. Bitcoin scarcity may spark explosive surge. Bank study shows. We talked about this. We're just reiterating the fact that there's not a lot of Bitcoin left. The majority of people have been sentenced to Satoshis. You've been sentenced to Satoshis, and you did it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You did it to yourself. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory says, yep, that is exactly what people want. People love complaining more than getting solutions. Yeah, so what do? We will serve the greater good by providing lots of situations for people to complain about. Welcome to the new elites. Welcome to dark Bitcoinization. See you in the future. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that came through to the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed to the channel, take a moment, hit that bell, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys share the stream to your social media. Remember, we're trying to stay purified, so make sure you exclusively only share with like-minded cryptocurrency investors and advocates. All right, don't just be sharing all over the place. We don't want filth. We don't want idiots. We don't want morons. We don't want people slowing up the discussion. We don't want none of that. We want to know where the money at. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure y'all show him some love. All right? Because you guys know, without stream sponsors, ain't no streams. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
run for it, run. Yeah, hey, okay, I'm fresh up out the package. Time I did, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinate. Topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red, it's not one trill. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitate.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching dimes.
Right, West Side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My looks clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you're right. Real all in my blood supply. Dig it ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. You know, co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.